Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to News Report TV. So let's jump right into it. This topic is kind of heating up. I have seen a few things that led up to what's happening now. Over the past week, I've heard just some shocking things occurring in relation to Nicki Minaj. First, I heard that, officers were called to her home because of some sort of report that her child was being abused and that there was a fire. So let's talk about that first. Sorry, I actually did not have that pulled up. Nicki Minaj. So let me just pull that up. All right, so this was from June 11th. There was a uh, there was a swatting call prank for alleged child abuse and fake house fire. So that was earlier this month. An anonymous phone caller falsely told police that her two-year-old Nicki Minaj's two-year-old son was being abused. The prankster contacted child services, which led to Los Angeles Police Department sheriff's deputies rolling up at the rap superstar's California mansion. According to a law enforcement source, deputies spoke with Nicki and her husband Kenneth Petty and examined their son, who was affectionately known as Papa Bear. Before determining there was no sign of abuse, the deputies surmised that the Red Ruby Da Sleeze rapper was a victim of a swatting call. However, the media outlet reported that another caller phoned 911 hours later to report a fire at Nicki's house. Police determined that was a bogus phone call as well. So, in response to that, Nicki Minaj is pursuing legal action against the person or persons involved in the prank. And so that happened earlier this month. Now, according to another article, the petition that is basically heating up and bringing a lot of attention as it stands today, that has been going on since December of 2022 when they first moved to the Hidden Hills. And apparently, Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian also live there. Now, here's something that I don't think anyone else will think of. Now, this article that I'm reading, it alludes to Cardi B fans being responsible. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, with Nicki Minaj, um, going to this place where Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian reside. I don't know if she's ever resided in an area where these someone like Kylie and Kim have lived before, but I feel like it's easy to say that Barty Gang or Cardi fans are responsible. I feel like because of the long-standing feud between the two women, it's easy to allude or assume that it's Cardi fans or somehow Cardi is, in relation. But as a minority, as someone of color, I've seen a lot of times where the person who's actually responsible for causing the friction or the issue are the people who they want to be somewhere exclusive. They want to feel exclusive for being there, and they themselves, even though they may act like they are an alliance, they don't feel, I don't think Kenneth Petty's past is what will necessarily cause any they're saying his safety concern is going to cause some sort of devalue of the property or the area due to his past and his criminal record. And I think that I feel like they're using that, but I feel like they're being targeted for being black, to be quite honest. I don't think this necessarily has anything to do with Kenneth Petty's past, and I'll tell you why. So, anyway, I did not know that this had been something that started from December of 2022. So, literally, as soon as they got there, I feel like it's easy. I feel like people are using Kenneth Petty's past, but I don't think this is about Kenneth Petty's past. They're using that because they can't say, I don't want them here because they're black. And also, I don't necessarily believe that Cardi's fans are responsible. I would not put it past Kylie Jenner, Kim Kardashian, and or their mother and those women. I would not put it past them. For years, a lot of people have had this idea that black women are jealous of Kim and the Kardashians and things like that. But I don't know. I think it's sort of the reverse. Nicki Minaj is the epitome of, setting trends. Nicki Minaj, I believe she sets a lot of trends, style wise, behavior wise. Just she is the epitome of, I mean, she's an icon. She's the epitome of, she can say a phrase and it goes viral. She can wear something and it goes viral. She can do a hairstyle. She can set the tone. you know a lot of times they have, in the industry, there's the fashion show where we see, okay, this is what the winter is going to look like, the fall, the summer, because of whatever trends we see on the runway. Nicki Minaj is as such. I mean, she is that. We see Nicki Minaj, if she has on certain glasses, I know, okay, this is what it's about to be. She's a walking runway, right? And I'm pretty sure she has a team, or maybe not. I'm not sure, but she has that influence. She still has that influence. And I mean, it's a cultural thing in hip hop, in the music world. And I remember back in the day when we used to watch videos, that's where you used to look to know, okay, what is going to be hot. I remember jersey dresses. Jersey dresses, you'll see the girls in the video with the jersey dresses. That's how you knew that that's going to be the next thing to wear, right? Jersey dresses. So that's Nicki Minaj. It doesn't matter if we're doing music videos anymore. I know music videos are not a big thing as they used to be before, like when 106 and Park and things like that were a thing, but pictures, now we have Instagram, and I mean, every now and then you watch a video, but they're not as popular as they used to be before. So I say that to say that that is something that Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, the Kardashians, they don't have that. And even though there was a time where there was a height for them, I feel like that's something that comes and goes. And especially right now, they're at a time where that is going, that is fleeting for them. Because I feel like the influence that they had has always actually been attached to whoever they were with. As far as Kim, like Kanye kind of gave that to her, you know. I feel like her relationship with Kanye gave her that. I don't feel like people look to Kim anymore for fashion. I don't think people pay attention to Kim anymore as much as they did when she was with Kanye, especially not for fashion. So I feel like this could possibly be something that is covered up as it's a responsibility of Cardi, but I feel like, I don't know why, I just feel like it's the Jenners, or I'm sorry, the Kardashians have something to do with it. And I feel like it's some sort of like, it's like a jealousy thing. And I'm just putting together a lot of the things that I've seen. Like, even when it comes to Nicki Minaj being approached, I don't remember what brand it was. As a matter of fact, I think it was Fendi, where she had this idea to collaborate with Kanye because she saw what he was doing with Adidas. I guess she felt like, you know what, Kanye, my brother Kanye, You know, even if whether or not she looks to him as a brother or whatever, she looks at him as business partner, whatever it is, she looked at him like, oh wow, Kanye's already doing this. She reached out to Kanye, and Kanye declined it based on the fact of saying, oh, you know what? My wife is Kim Kardashian, and if I was to do that for anybody, it would have to be my wife. And Nicki was not really saying that, hey, he's required to do this, he should have did this, but she understood from the perspective of husband and wife. You know, why would she try to get in the middle of, I mean, she can't, you know, or she wouldn't try to dispute that, because like she said this in the Joe Budden interview, like that's his wife, her wife, or whatever, their spouse. So who am I to get tell someone? But the point is, Kim would not have had the influence to carry something like that. But Kanye would have been willing to do that for Kim. But see, Kanye comes out every now and then and he talks about his struggles in the fashion industry as a black man. But here you are, you had the opportunity to pull up a black woman, and it wasn't about it wasn't, people always get things mixed up. Sometimes it's bigger than you, and you have to understand that moment between Nicki and Kanye is bigger than your marriage, right? That was something to carry not only the culture, but also another black person, to kind of open that that pathway. And sometimes when you don't understand that, you end up struggling, because he had so many complaints and issues with the way he was being treated. But here it is that you would have been able to kind of, it's kind of like what Monique has been fighting for as far as the whole Netflix thing. And a lot of people were like, oh, Monique, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. But once Monique was able to win her lawsuit with Netflix. And what she's saying is, what Monique was trying to say is, now that I fought, now the person who's coming after me, they don't have to take the crumbs. So as far as the situation with Kanye and Nicki, if he would have pulled Nicki up, or if he would have went forward with her, it was not just about him and Nicki. It was about paving the way and making it less difficult for the next black person that comes after that, for them to get their foot in the door at least. And you would have been able to usher that, but you did not, based on your spouse, you know, based on something that didn't even have anything to do with that. Because why would Kim be threatened about anything regards to Nicki Minaj? It's bigger than Kim. It's bigger than her. That whole situation was bigger than her. And so that's why sometimes when Kanye has these complaints and these arguments, I really don't want to hear him, because you're really only complaining for yourself. You're not really thinking about the bigger picture, because if you were, I feel like the whole situation that Nicki brought to him, he would have seen that as an opportunity to kind of open the door, because you can't knock on these doors by yourself. You know, you have to let this industry know that I'm not the only person. I have other people. Because when you look at it, you'll say, they'll think about it. They'll say, okay, Kanye, let's see how many followers Kanye has. Oh, he has power. He has influence. You know, on Instagram, for example, let's say Kanye has 4 million followers. You know how many people out of the world that is? Then they look at a Nicki and they say, oh, Nicki, he's bringing Nicki with him, who has 1 billion followers. Now these people have no choice but to kind of negotiate with you, because you have that power, that influence that's needed to accomplish what needs to be accomplished. You're not walking into the room with somebody who doesn't have some sort of power. They're going to want to listen to you. They're going to want to do business with you, because you have some sort of influence. And influence further breaks down into dollars and cents, because influence means there's people that are actually going to follow you, actually going to buy based on liking you or following you. Anyway, I went into a whole thing about that, and I think I think my point is just I don't necessarily think that Barty gang has anything to do with this. I feel like this is the Kardashians. I know that's like a theory that I have. I really think it's the Kardashians. Okay, so Cardi B fans are seemingly behind the growing petition to push Nicki Minaj and her husband Kenneth Petty out of Hidden Hills amid concerns over his sex offender status. Again, that's the title of this article, but I don't believe that Cardi is responsible. So there's a petition which asks them to move out of Hidden Hills over safety concerns. In addition to voicing fears that the 45-year-old registered sex offenders move to the area would lower appraisal value, the online request has collected more than 886 signatures on change.org, signifying the community is against sex offenders in their Hidden Hills neighborhood. The petition goes on to urge locals to put resident safety first and states that the 40-year-old rap superstar spouse is a level 3 offender convicted for the um, taking advantage of a 16-year-old girl. I believe at the time he was also the same age or around the same age. It also claims that Petty has a high likelihood to reoffend and is currently under house arrest for failing to register as a sex offender in California as law demands it. Now, I think that's unfair to say. You do not know what, like, that's weird to say that, especially after someone has already served their time. Now, I'm in no way saying that if the allegations are true, that I'm supporting it. But there's just so many components in that story. So many things were said, and we weren't there. And he served his time. But what I do want to say is I don't believe that this petition is based on safety. And I'm going to give you an example. This is what I think. Just a few days ago, we had Kamora Lee Simmons hop online, and she was blasting Russell Simmons, right? She's blasting Russell Simmons, and now all of a sudden, she is, changing his name, saying he muscles women. She has, said all type of allegations. Now she's bringing up the fact that he met her when she was 15 years old, and all these kind of things. And I really didn't even listen to the entire thing, and I did not want to listen to it because Kamora Lee Simmons has been married to Russell Simmons for years. They have two beautiful children together who are adults now. They're in their 20s, so that indicates, how long they've been together. They've been married. They've been business partners. I think they still were kind of dealing with each other business wise even after they got divorced. And Kamora, I've never heard Kimura speak out about Russell ever up until now. Even any disagreements that they may have had, it may have been private. I do not trust Kimura Lee Simmons at all. There has been rumors that supposedly Kimura was somehow associated with Kim. What is her name? Diddy's ex, Kim Porter. Somehow, I think they're friends or best friends, and I believe the both of them were. I think Kim was like planning to put out this like tell-all book, and in some way, shape, or form, Kimura was um associated with it in some way, and so I think that's where Kimura becomes relevant because I guess she is going to be telling the story or something like that. I don't know. Or she's holding her secrets or something. I don't know. But when it comes to Kim Porter and when it comes to Kim Porter and when it comes to Kimora Lee Simmons, I feel like this is truly, people talk about Illuminati and all these kind of things. I think this is truly what the Illuminati is, right? These women willingly participated for years. They enjoyed the dollars. They enjoyed the lavish lifestyle. They enjoyed the mansions and everything. And they've never said anything. Kamora Lee Simmons, you've known all along what Russell Simmons was doing, what he did, or what was going on. You stayed married to him. You enjoyed what you enjoyed, and you turned a blind eye to anything else that he was doing that probably, maybe, didn't really sit right with you, or that you knew was morally incorrect. So at that time, now, if you would have said something about it at that time, if you would have left him at that time, then, that's not, let's say, quote unquote, Illuminati. To me, that's what Illuminati and all that kind of stuff is. It's like, or whatever conspiracy, people are talking about, like when they say, oh, does somebody come up to you, and does somebody are they going to ask you to be a part of? When you start to witness those things, you're sacrificing your morals by continuing to digest it, continuing to accept it. You turn the blind eye to it. You continue to live amongst this person. You continue to play along with it. So you sacrifice whatever it is whatever it is you don't agree with. You sacrifice that because you agree with it for the sake of the money, the fame, and whatever else you receive, as a part of being a part of this thing. So I feel like that's more so the definition of what the Illuminati is, if I'm saying the term correctly. But I feel like that's more so what that is. So when she came out on video and she was saying how she um I'm probably going to say it wrong. I know she didn't say the Red Cross, but for example, she was saying stuff like, "Oh, I fight for women. I this, I that." Like I was not moved at all. I was not moved at all because, like I said, she's been with him for decades. And why are you saying this now for something so simple? I don't think that I think Kamora's moral compass, any emotions, I just, some people, I've heard some people say this about people who have like plastic surgery, that they, uh, well, not necessarily about plastic surgery, but it's like somebody who's been through a lot and also had plastic surgery. I don't want to bring the person's name up, but the person kind of looks dead inside. It's not that Kimura looks dead inside, but I just kind of feel like maybe she has been through a lot. She doesn't wear it because she looks really good, but I feel like that's how I felt when she was talking. Like I didn't believe anything she was saying. I just almost felt like, I don't know if Kimura was trained like this, like she was like trained. I don't know. It could be her culture. Some people, they endure things, and she looks like more of a person, like is like, okay, what's next, like what do I do next? Well, I don't think she has that time to just like sit back and just like process something. I think it's always like, okay, what do we do next, what do we do next? Like it's never a stop moment for her, like a chill. So I don't know who trained her like that, if it's part of her culture, if it's her mom, if it's her father, or her upbringing, or just whatever she's seen and been through. I don't know. But she's always seemingly to have that kind of personality, just like, okay, what's next? Like it's never a moment where it's like, okay, take some time for myself. So when she was talking and saying she's a part of the women's thing and all this kind of stuff, I didn't really believe anything. Like I just feel like she just goes with the motion or goes with the flow. I feel like she's like long been gone. I feel like she's long gone. Like I don't feel like there's any emotion in her. I feel like, and maybe that's what it's like when you sacrifice whatever you believe in for money. I feel like, and that, I guess that's what I'm trying to get to. I feel like in that sense she's long gone. I don't see anything in her. Like I don't see, and I didn't believe her because I felt like it was just the only reason she came out to say anything was because maybe she didn't get what she wanted. um I felt like she wasn't getting the sympathy that she thought she would get from saying what she said. And so that was it. And then she came on and she started crying. I didn't believe anything. I was not moved at all. I feel like all of them, including the children, have, chosen, they've chosen this fate. And that's that. So, I guess my point in bringing up this family is that Russell Simmons is currently residing in Bali, and he's running he's basically running away from multiple charges from multiple women. He has admitted to being on drugs in his younger years, and so this is when the allegations supposedly occurred. A lot of young women coming out and alleging that he took advantage of them, and a lot of people believe that Kimora was aware. And on the live that she did the other day, she did allude to some of that, and she even alluded to him being bi. And so, like I said, it means nothing right now because when it occurred, you basically participated. So my point is, Russell Simmons lived his life as a mogul all of these years. We've always looked up to Russell Simmons in the culture, saw him as an upstanding person, and it was very disappointing to hear those allegations. And it's just like, wow, I was very shocked, to be honest, because I did not look at Russell Simmons in that way. Russell Simmons had been living in these affluent communities for years, and he was able to do that because there was nothing officially on his record. So my point is that it is not fair that people are continuously bullying Nicki Minaj's husband for this thing that is on his record, this one thing that is on his record. And there's people like Russell Simmons who have been able to live in these same type of communities without a peep. And now Russell Simmons is at the last leg of he's at the last leg of his chapter or his life. He's getting older, and he's been on the yachts, he's been able to travel, he's been able to live in these luxurious mansions and things like that without the embarrassment of people doing these things to him that they're doing to Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. And he was able to go under the radar because nobody knew who he really was, right? And a lot of them do this. I mean, I feel like it's a lot of them, we just don't know about it. And the nerve for people to bully Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty the way they are right now. I mean, the whole SWAT, the prank call, that I would have been so upset. That was ridiculous. And I just feel like, I know this is weird, but I feel like the Kardashians are behind it. I don't feel like it's I don't feel like it's Cardi B. I feel like the Kardashians are behind it. The Kardashians, their influence is kind of dwindling, and Nicki Minaj coming into their area, coming into their space, I don't think they're gonna have that. They not only I mean, it's taken a long time for people to realize this, but now that Kanye is not with Kim, Kim does not have the influence that she used to have before. But look at Nicki Minaj. It doesn't matter who Nicki Minaj is with. Nicki Minaj still always has it. She always has the influence. She always sets the trend. She's just always that girl. And I feel like it's the Kardashians. I don't think this is something that Cardi did. So let me know what you think down in the comments. I feel like what's happening to Nicki Minaj is not fair. It's not right. A lot of people go under the radar who do this kind of thing. We've heard story after story, and it comes out later on. Cosby didn't have to live this way when he was enjoying when he was in his prime. He didn't have to live this way. It's only now, and there were whispers about Cosby because D.L. Hughley said so. But in his later years, when he actually got charged, you know, Martha Stewart did time. I don't see anybody petitioning in front of her house about what she did. So, I mean, I just think this is not fair. But let me know what you think down in the comments. See you on the next one.